All right, Jeffrey, it is all about that identity line. You, Kristian Reichel, and Parker Ford. What was it that just created such a good chemistry between the three of you guys?
Yeah, I mean, I think as soon as we got put together, just there was a click, and I think we just think alike. We knew where each other were on the ice, and we worked really hard. So I think it was definitely a turning point in the season for us, and I think all of us after that got some pretty good results. So yeah, it was great playing with them.
It seemed almost like that was kind of the story of the season, right? The team overall, not just anybody, one person individually, were having slow starts for the first few months, but then you guys all collectively picked it up, and it seemed like a majority of you guys all had career years. So again, is there something you could identify and say, well, hey, maybe that was what did it, or was it just the group kind of hit that switch and then you started to go and then everyone started to produce?
Yeah, I think it was just a click probably because obviously tough start for us, like being at the bottom. I think it was what January or December, like we were at the bottom of the league, and we just kind of had a meeting, like a players only meeting, and just kind of said like what do we want to do here, like what's the plan. So I think at that point we just kind of decided that we wanted to push and we wanted to make playoff, and we had a pretty hard push for us to get there. So I was pretty proud of all the boys there.
I know hockey players don't like talking about themselves, so I'll ask you about some of your line mates. Kristian Reichel had a career year, moved to the middle for the first time here in North America, as far as I can remember. So what did you see from him in terms of his move and the way he was able to kind of contribute to this team?
Yeah, I mean he was great. He was huge for this team. He was a leader in the room, leader on the ice, and couldn't have done him without him. And he's just such a good shooter, like just such a good sniper, and works really hard. And I think gets on the forecheck, extremely sound defensively. So I think his overall game, especially his second part of the season, was huge for our team.
Parker Ford, I mean, he's a young kid who a lot of folks, out of training camp were anointing him the 13th forward, even though he'd never played a game of pro. He comes down here, slow start, but you guys kind of take him under your wing, and he really, I mean, again, like much of the team, really started to grow in that second half.
Yeah, I mean Parker right from the start. I don't think it didn't look like a rookie. He looked like he's been in the league forever. Like just the way he plays, he's works really hard. He's like a bull down there. He's just all over the ice. He's the hardest worker there, and he plays extremely well defensively, obviously. And yeah, I think he had a great year.
You've been a pro for a while. What's it like to see a young, first year goaltender come in and make the kind of impact that Thomas Milic had on this team?
Yeah, I mean, I think that was another point when he showed up, and just he played really well for us, and yeah, he was really confident. Another guy that was like, was a rookie, but you can really tell he's just so confident there, and yeah, he was a huge part for us.
Speaking of rookies, how special is that for you guys to all be together and see two guys make their NHL debuts, and what kind of energy does that bring to the team when they get back to Texas there?
Oh, that was great. I just learning that in the room in Milwaukee, everybody was jumping, so happy for these guys, and obviously they deserved it. They deserved it a lot, and I was really happy too watching the game, seeing them, produce and everything. So I was really happy for them.
What does all that do too for some of the younger guys? I mean, whether it be the losing streak, the call-ups, whatever. What does that do in terms of guys' growth heading into next season? What do you think that can do to sort of prepare them for what life is like in the pro leagues?
Yeah, I mean, it just shows like it's a learning curve. A season's never perfect. Even teams that win the Stanley Cup or Calder Cup or whatever, like you're never gonna have a perfect season. It's about how you respond. And I think especially in the second half, we show a lot of adversity. Just bouncing back whenever if we had a loss or whatever, like we'd come back. I don't know what the stats said, but I feel like we had a lot of comeback too during the game. Being down after the first, after the second or whatever it was, and coming back. So that just shows that, there's a lot of character and there's no quit in that room.
From your own perspective, I mean, let's talk about your year and the year you had. You really produced for this team, both with your knuckles and your and scoring goals. So, from your own perspective, how did your first year in Winnipeg go?
I think it started pretty slow. Honestly, I wasn't really happy with the way I was playing first half of the season, and I think I really picked it up second half. Yeah, so it was great. Obviously, I'm a veteran that's always been a leader, and that's the way I play, trying to teach young guy the pro life and the pro game, and yeah, I feel like that was a a huge part of my year.
Is there one particular highlight? Was it the fight in Calgary? Was it a goal you scored? Anything that really stands out for your year?
I mean, I think the first game, the first first fight of the year was a pretty good one. But yeah, I'd say that was a pretty big highlight from this year.
In terms of getting the recall, you got the recall during that Minnesota series, that home and home with the Wild. What would that mean to you to just kind of say, okay, the Jets are paying attention to what you're doing?
Yeah, it was great. Obviously, I would have liked to play some games. Obviously, that was my goal coming into the season. That didn't happen, which is fine. But yeah, it just shows me that I got to keep working on my game, and keep improving to get better and get back up there.
So, what is your plan for the summer?
Going back to Montreal. Gonna take probably a week or two off, and then start working out again. And yeah, like I said, just trying to work on things I got to work on to be a better player next year.
Speaking of next year, have you given it your UFA after this year? Is there anything you've thought about in terms of whether you'd be interested in coming back here, or just your plans? Kind of, again, I know the season just ended a little while ago.
Yeah, I mean, I got to talk to my agent. I haven't really thought about it already, but yeah, I mean, I love Winnipeg. No, it's just everything's in plan. So we'll just see what happens and see where I end up.